The community is in uproar. There's an article in Forbes about this whole situation. Journalists are looking for answers and hearing nothing from 2K. That's just the current state NBA 2k24 MyTEAM is in. The mode that we all once loved is in its lowest ever point. And in this video, we are going to be talking about all of the lies, deception, and even some things you could argue were straight up scams in NBA 2k24 MyTEAM. So to start off, we obviously have to go back to before the game was even released. Because if 2K didn't make promises before a year, we wouldn't have anywhere to look back on to show that 2K were straight up lying, or at worst deceiving us into being hyped falsely for this game. Obviously the first thing they said was about the player market, and this was to replace the auction house, which has been in the game since NBA 2K15. Obviously recent years was kind of ran by coin sites, so basically 2K decided to get rid of it. They said right here that the player market evens the player field for everyone in MyTEAM. It also says each player card will be available at transparent prices, and also says if you want you can outright get it sets for an entire discount. They then finish it off by saying that cards will go down in value as the year goes on, so cards will eventually be cheaper in following seasons. So at the start, they initially did what they promised. While there were a lot of lock-ins, they did state there were going to be collection rewards, and you can see here a 58% discount. But one thing they didn't say in the dev blog was that the discount was going to be VC only, so MT, no discount. But one day in February, the mode became a casino. You were not able to get any cards that were the highest tier. You were no longer able to buy them in the player market. You were no longer able to get them outright. You had to gamble for them on packs. So the player market instantly became completely irrelevant. And you can even see right now, even the discount is gone. While it's still VC only, it's now only 6% and some weeks as low as 5%. You can see here about cards going down in price. And if you look, Season 1 September rubies are 14k. Rubies that were out after Season 3 are 2000 MT. Season 1 Amethyst cards are 28k, whereas Season 4 Amethyst cards are 5k MT. It doesn't make sense. As you can see right here, the first diamond is 98k, and diamonds are now 14k. All are newer ones. So while the cards did go down in price, they all just had a set maximum price that they could be reduced to, which was never said anywhere. So cards from earlier in the year that are amethyst are going to be more expensive than pink diamonds from Season 5 and 6. And even if you want to get a good card, you're going to have to lock in a collection. And there's some cards that you want, but you better believe these packs are rigged. They haven't claimed to be equal chance since the All-Star pack. They are completely rigged. You are not getting one of the best cards. You're more than likely going to get one of the worst cards if you do that. But even still, if you go and open packs for cards, we saw from Troydan. Troydan spent nearly 10,000 Canadian dollars on a 100 overall. It took him nearly 3,000 packs to do it. And with countries deciding the FIFA packs are gambling, I'm surprised that not a bigger deal has been made out of 2K. I think if 2K MyTEAM was a bigger mode, or if FIFA decided to do what they're doing right now, what 2K are doing, these packs would have been made illegal already in most of the world. So the player market was a straight up lie by 2K. What they initially put it forward as a way to get any player and a way to make cards more attainable, in fact, was the opposite. No players are now in the player market. The MT currency is useless. And while 2K said they were bringing in the player market to level the playing field, maybe they did initially. Maybe they did when they decided to do that at the start of the year. But on All-Star Weekend, everything changed. And this game mode became a casino. It became a casino in a game that was made 3+ or E for everybody. It is a casino that can be basically accessed by a kid if they want to. And it is very worrying for the future of MyTEAM that this is something that they thought that they could do and get away with. And what's even more concerning, not that they thought they could get away with it, the fact that they have done it and they have gotten away with it up to this point. So before we get on to the main part of the video, I'm going to be going over some smaller lies throughout the year. So the first thing, this wasn't MyTEAM specific, but it was about the Hall of Fame / Pro Pass. Basically, 2K, Mike Wang, insinuated that you were not going to have a competitive in-game advantage for the Pro Pass. And while he never said it specifically in MyTEAM, the fact that we started off through 4 seasons of only getting an alternate card art, there not being any sort of a difference between the cards. And then in Season 5, 2K decided to change that. You can see these two James Harden cards. Stats wise, they're exactly the same, but animations is a huge difference. One of the Hardens has a release on quick, one is very quick. I assume you can get which is which. Basically, it means that you're getting a big time advantage in the card for spending the extra money, as well as obviously doing the grind. You can see right here in September, these are all going to be in chronological order. 2K falsely advertised the odds on packs. I'm not entirely sure whether 2K did compensate people in the end, but if they did, it wasn't by giving them the cards and the fake odds. In November, 2K advertised a Jeremy Lin card, who was actually the first card in history to be VC only. He was the first card you could only ever buy a VC in the history of MyTEAM. It had never happened before, so there's some countries where you couldn't get the card. But also, I'm pretty sure, well, I'm not sure about the legality, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm not sure you can release an item on sale. As you can see here, they showed that there was a big sale in the price. While there was no set price for diamonds in the VC auction house because, well, obviously diamonds varied in price, 2K decided to release this Jeremy Lin on sale at a VC price of 35k with a price of 87.5k, which he was literally never up for. And while most of this is going to be negative, this is actually something that 2K did well. And the reason why I'm putting this in the video is at the start of December, 2K, they done goofed and then they made up for it by basically saying there was an issue, you can go and have one of them for free. So 2K did something good, and the reason why I'm putting this in the video is that it shows that 2K, when they want to, can actually do something good. However, a few days later, 2K released a Nick Claxton, and he had an 88 3-point shot, and then 2K decided to change that and give him a 55 rated 3-point shot. Should he have had a 55 rate initially? Maybe, but people went and spent their real money, spent their real MT on this card, only for 2K to change him and make him worse. On Christmas Day, we got our first set of primetime cards. We'd been promised them months before, but this was the first time we saw them. We haven't seen them since. This was a big part of a blog that we literally saw once. 2K advertised we're going to be getting primetime cards for big matchups, and then they just forgot about it or ignored it because it probably wasn't making them that much money. Again, not a big deal, but it does show that there is deception advertising something as important and then not following through with it. And who remembers Moments cards? 2K decided not to actually release Timely Moments cards like they said, and they released Season Rewind. We thought they were going to be a monthly thing. Nah, they literally just gave us 30 twice and that was it. And who would ever forget the PG glitch, which allowed people to make millions and millions of MT? At the same time, I don't know why we're calling it a glitch. It was a mistake on their part. They decided to put them at too cheap a price, and people made MT off that. 2K wiped the MT of all accounts that did it, which is fair enough, but at the same time, 2K swept it under the rug. No compensation for people that didn't do the glitch, and the no communication whatsoever just left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. 2K then repeated the Jeremy Lin scenario by putting a card in the pack market for VC only. And unlike Jeremy Lin, where it was a scrub and everyone could ignore it, there was no advertised sale on this one. This was just the best card in the game being released for 175,000 VC, which was a crazy price, $50 for a card. Not attainable in the player market, but of course, obviously, you could also gamble for this guy if you wanted to. And Season 6 started off with some incredible free rewards in the game modes, as you can see here, available till May 17th. Dwayne Wade, you've seen Siakam until May 18th. You've seen Brandon Ingram till 18th. So they're all advertised till May the 17th or 18th. And then 2K decided to take them all out of the game and replace them Playoffs Deluxe packs a month before they were meant to end. And right afterwards, they put all the cards back in the game except you had to pay for them. They literally took free cards out of the game and made you pay for them in the weeks afterwards. But now to the reason why I made this entire video.
This is absolutely not okay in any way, shape, or form.
So 2K up until yesterday had advertised a Kobe Bryant card for collector level. He's in the game until the last minute. And for those of you who aren't into MyTEAM and don't know how much this card takes, it would basically involve you playing the entire year, over 1,000 hours of grinding the game, on top of the 1,000 hours, spending somewhere between $5,000 and $15,000 on this game, depending on how lucky you were. However, 2K decided to then put it on their Discord, not on their Twitter, on their Discord. So not public information, put it on their Discord. So if you aren't in their Discord, you couldn't see anything. Basically, 2K saying that they changed up the collector level last minute, 2 hours before the deadline in April. That's what they decided to do, and they made it a 100 overall option pack. Can you argue the 100 overall cards, the two of them are going to be better in-game than Kobe? Sure, but that's not what people spent money for. That's not what people spent their hard-earned money for. And regardless of what you think about it, 2K had to have known this. I hope they would have known what they were doing. Whether it was a time crunch, whether it was a licensing issue, they still gave people false hope until literally the final hour. Nobody was happy about this. You can see this from Ty saying it's one of the sickest things he's ever seen. From Henry talking about Kobe's name for false advertisement is disgusting. And even Troy now, one of the biggest 2K creators of all time, complaining about this, asking why people haven't been fired and saying somebody needs to say something. However, we did go and see a tweet from a former 2K employee basically trying to play devil's advocate. I assume that he knows a little bit more than we do, saying it might be a rights issue and it might not be as simple as it looks. He then said a logical side to an extreme reaction. I actually don't think the reaction's extreme if you've been a part of the MyTEAM community. Also, him saying that he doesn't think there'll be an intentional shift that will bring negativity. As we've seen from MyTEAM, there are so many intentional shifts that will bring negativity. They just don't care. And even if he's 100% on the money, I don't think it helps anything in 2K's perspective. And Bucks Nelson made a great point, better than I can, so I'm going to show off what he said in his video about this.
Some rights situation with Kobe Bryant that specifically affects this one aspect, that you could have Kobe's shoes in the game, you could have Kobe's other cards in the game, and you could even see 100 overall Kobe in the card in the game. But for some reason, as a collector reward, the negotiations broke down for whatever reason. In fact, Vanessa Bryant might have said, I'm cool with Kobe being a collector reward as long as he's never something about just pulling backs. Now, I don't think that happened, but it's technically possible, right? And once they changed to the gambling model, she could have sent somebody over and be like, oh, by the way, don't let them do that with Kobe. They got to do something else. There is something going on behind the scenes that forced them to not have Kobe with the reward as a reward. And for the record, I doubt this. I do not think this is the case. And I'll tell you guys why as we go forward. But even if that was the case, the communication and the use of the people's enthusiasm for a Kobe Bryant that doesn't exist, that was no accident. They had some time before today, and most likely before last Friday's drop, which I'm sure made them a bunch of money. They had some time to communicate with the community and say Kobe's not happening. And they waited until literally the very last second, getting the most possible value out of the Kobe FOMO.
So the Kobe situation might be one of the worst things I've seen 2K do when it comes to MyTEAM. I genuinely don't see any way you can justify this. Even if it is a rights issue, which more and more people are starting to say maybe it is. Like, I'm seeing it more on my timeline, and then obviously Corey knows more about the ins and outs of 2K than any of us do. I still don't see how it can be a rights issue because Mamba Moments is in the game and he's still in rosters. But look, you can't obviously rule it out. But at the same time, even if it is a rights issue, they didn't find out 1 hour before the deadline. They didn't find out 1 hour before the deadline that it was a rights issue. They've known. And that is what the saddest part is that even if it was out of 2K's hands, they still didn't go about it right. They still went about it in the most deceptive and greedy way possible. They still went about it in a way that they could get as much money as possible from people wanting Kobe. Even if it is a rights issue, they knew it might make it even worse. If 2K knew that they weren't going to be able to release Kobe, keeping Kobe as the advertised reward all the way to the very end, literally the final hours when it changed, that might be even worse than ignoring it, than forgetting about it. Because it is one of the darkest moments in MyTEAM history. In a year of the darkest moments in MyTEAM history. So anyway, that is the video. Obviously not the highest edited video, but I wanted to get this out while the point is still relevant. MyTEAM, especially NBA 2k24 MyTEAM, has been one big lie from 2K. They have lied, deceived, you could argue scammed their audience for the entire year, purely out of greed, purely because of the almighty dollar. And for that reason, I can't see MyTEAM ever going back to the way it was. And I'm somebody that has been praying for that for years. When MyTEAM's good, I'm good. I'm making good content. I'm able to make content around the game mode. I'm able to be positive about the game mode. Like, my views and money are up, which helps as well. And when MyTEAM's bad, you see videos like this. You see what was happening on the DBG MyTEAM channel. You see just non-stop negativity. And I think, if anything, we've gone easy on my 2K this year for what they've done with this game. The negativity I don't think is quite negative enough. But now after seeing articles from Forbes, this getting some mainstream news, maybe 2K will at least address it. Because there's no excuse. And there's no way that there's a justifying 2K. There's no way that we should ever give 2K the benefit of the doubt again with this situation or anything else. Anyway, that is the video. Actually, it's not, lads. We've got a song to end the video.